G'day everyone and welcome to my day 27 of my 31 days of Ghoulish terror reviews. And tonight's movie is on the 1984 movie A Nightmare on Elm Street. Of course, all we know is that this film is directed by and written by the infamous Wes Craven. The plot of the film is very simple. A monstrous spirit of a slain child murderer seeks revenge by invading the dreams of teenagers whose parents were responsible for his ultimate death. As is like all reviews, I will talk about likes, disappointment, and dislikes. And I will start with likes. I will say this is one of the best horror films of 1984 and probably one of the best horror movies ever made. Wes Craven has made an absolute masterpiece in this film. His directing and his writing in this movie is absolutely phenomenal, with absolutely great casting and absolutely amazing acting from everyone in this film. We got John Saxon and Ronnie Blackley, Heather Lemmingham, Amanda West, Nick Corey, and we see Johnny Depp for the first time as Glenn. Now, all did to go well in their role. The story is absolutely very creepy for its time. There is an Australian movie critic by the name of Bill Collins. This is in his own words. He called this one of the scariest movies he's ever seen, and this is back in 1984. And a lot of critics back then has even called this one of the scariest movies ever seen. This movie, opened in such an amazing way. I absolutely love the intro. Freddy Krueger is one of my iconic horror characters ever, and one of my favorite, horror icons ever. It cannot replace a Rob England as Freddy Krueger. He's so menacing. His line is so cool. The deaths in this film are absolutely original, because there's only 3 deaths in this film. But the way they're all done is absolutely so original. Wes Craven actually got an idea from deaths back in the 80s. Apparently, teenagers died in their sleep. So Wes Craven came up with the idea of Freddy Krueger from that idea. And we got one of the greatest, high icons of all time. Of course, the gory death goes to Tina. It's just so well done. We see her guts sliced open, and then we see her rotating in the room and eventually get pulled over the scenery. When I first originally saw this, we saw it on the Australian video, and on the box it said uncut, graphic cut, because America never actually seen the uncut version. Because when I saw this film for the first time, we didn't hit the bed. Blood splats on. We see a big splat of blood. But on the DVD and version I've seen later on, we just hit the blood hit Rod. Because, like I mentioned, and also when the leg kicks the door open, the bed is slowly panned with the camera. We don't see that in the DVD or cinema cut. I prefer the Australian video cut over this. Slightly more gory, with the with the blood splat and and the bloody bed, which we don't see in a US cut, which was put on the Australian DVD, which I was kind of disappointed about. And Glenn's death was actually quite cool as well. How he was pulling the blood into the bed, and the big fountain of blood can using, soaring out of the bed like a fountain. I seen the so-called work print cut in which we saw Glenn's body eventually comes flowing out of the bed. I mean, I got that work print cut on DVD, which I downloaded. Some guy on a website actually managed to restore the movie with all their lost scenes. It was pretty cool. I find the wiki cut goes to a lot. And it was just hung. No gore shown. Throughout the film, you got an amazing music score, which really fits the movie very well. Makes the movie edgy and creepy. And very well indeed. There's one scene in particular that actually made me laugh. This is the scene when Nancy's boyfriend, got into her bedroom, that first scene, where Nancy goes to check on Rod. And she's looking at a picture, and she says, "Oh my God, I look 20. Apparently, during production, she'll, Heather Navkinderkamp, or what the hell you pronounce her name, was either 19 or 20 at the time. That's actually quite funny. She was either 19 or 20 during production. Look, all the teens were in their 20s in the film. Even, Johnny Depp. Not sure how old Amanda Werkel at the time, or the other guy who plays Rod. But all know is that, Heather and Johnny Depp were both, early 20s or close to 20 back during production. When it comes to disappointment of the film, it's actually the ending of the film. It's just the last very short moment of the film. It's how Nancy defeated Freddy. I thought it was just quite silly. How she turns her back to him and she turns around and she says to him, and I know, how she talks to him, She says, "You're nothing to me, you're just a dream," and he just eventually just disappears. And how he just comes out of the bed, after jumping on her mother, climbing out of the bed, I'm thinking, where did he go? I mean, how did all of a sudden it just come staying up out of the bed and such, ripping out and he more says to her, "You're next." That's, because that's when Nancy says to him, "In nothing, it's just a dream." And that's when, Freddy disappears. Then comes the morning, how her and her mother were outside, and her friends pull up in the car. She gets into the car, we see the top of the car go up top of them, and cover got Freddy's sweater, and you see those the windows go up. This comes the most serious part. Actually looks so fake. You see Freddy's arm comes smashing through the window and pulling Nancy's mother through. It didn't look real. It looked like a mannequin getting pulled through. When it comes to disappointments, or dislikes, none. When it comes to the verdict of 1984, is one of the greatest horror films ever made. Wes Craven actually made a masterpiece of his directing and his story. Great cast, what I can mention, who were, Heather Amy Camp, Amanda Reese, Johnny Depp, Robert England, John Saxon, absolutely amazing job in their roles. And they made the movie as it was. The movie is very tenseful, very suspenseful, But when it was 84, on the big screen for the first time, people probably were being absolutely jumping off the set that was going on. Because it was one of the first type of movies of its time. And Freddy Krueger was absolutely so menacing, so creepy. Where he spoke, you see this, this burned figure just, taunting teenagers and eventually killing them in original deaths. All the deaths absolutely created it, except for Rod's death, which I thought, he should get hanged. After, what's a teenager and Glenn's death, it's the weakest one. And there's only 3, deaths for the whole film. But when you get to the last act, that's where the movie more falls apart. This is when Glenn dies. And, he's setting up traps and trying to get Freddy. That's when the movie suddenly got downhill. When they come to Rival's verdict and score of A Nightmare on Elm Street 1984, I love this movie. It's one of my overall favorite horror movies of all time. I give it a strong and a perfect 10 out of 10. Thank you for watching my day 27 of my 31 days of Ghoulish Terror reviews. If you like what you see, give me a like. And if you've seen this movie, I know a lot of you have. I like to hear your thoughts. And if you're new to my channel, great. Join the family and subscribe to my channel.